What's up, everybody? Welcome to DLC Day Part 3. First off, I want to give a little shout out, a thank you to Scorpionizer on YouTube for letting me know that this was happening today, because I actually was not aware. I follow Wizards of the Coast on Twitter, but I don't know if they didn't think this was important enough for a tweet, or if I just missed it, or what was going on there, but I actually did not see that this was out until he said something. Or she, I guess. I'm sorry. Gender roles right there. But real quick, what we're gonna do, this is a little bit different than we've done in the past. I'm not looking at the screen right now. We're picking a deck at random, and we're doing Peacekeepers. That is gonna be terrible for us. I predict a loss, especially since it's 100% unlocked. Let's start this, and then we'll talk a little bit while we wait for things. So I've never seen this deck list before. I don't know anything about it. I know what Dimir does, of course. Mill, and kill, and evasion. Dimir's crazy. People have been clamoring for this for quite some time. This is the worst hand anyone's ever had of anything. Creature spell, that's not going to be enough. This is slow. Don't have any creatures at all. This is not better mana-wise. We do have the Dimir Guildmage, though. We can play most of the cards in my hand, actually, with this. I play first. Let's go ahead and get this going. I'm gonna have to be a little quick here, so let's get started. Like I was saying, though, I have not seen this at all. We'll talk about my hand here in just a second. I just kind of quickly looked at the cards, but we'll talk about them here in a minute. We'll talk about what I think of this deck. What we're going to do is we're going to unlock the first card for He Had No 1-drop. That is amazing. I have no land. That is not amazing. We're going to talk a little bit. I probably should have dropped the unblockable guy. That was the worst play ever. That guy also can't intercept, though, so I don't know. I don't think it matters. But so we're going to unlock the first card for each of these decks together. This one, of course, is Rogue's Gallery, I believe it's called. So we're going to go ahead and try and unlock cards for each of these decks against random opponents. I am amazing. And then we're actually going to go ahead and do some other things. Let's take a look at our hand real quick, and then we'll get more into the exposition. Inkfathom Infiltrator, like I was saying, can't intercept, can't be blocked, good times for everybody. Scroll Thief, whenever he damages a player, we're going to be able to draw a card. We've got Agni Warp, your obligatory neg. I mean, this helps you get rid of 2 creatures if you play it right. We've got Soul Manipulation. It's one of those choose one or both cards that I absolutely love. We can counter a spell and return a creature card from graveyard to our hand. And then we've got some Sorcery Speed removal with some pretty tasty side effects. So it's actually... do I like instant speed removal? Yes. Do I like sorcery speed removal with this many tricks? I don't hate it. Let's go ahead and attack him for 2 and see what happens here. But back to my original point, we are then going to do kind of a video where I talk about my first impressions of both the decks. And then we're going to go ahead and just have some camaraderie where we just like chill out, you know, and just kind of bro zone. You know how it is. Pierce the bro zone layer. Just kind of hang out. So it's your turn, buddy. Go ahead and take it. I can already tell that was noisy water. Like, that is going to be really loud on the speaker. But anyways, you guys, okay, there we go. That dude's a 2/2. I'm gonna have to kill that before it gets any bigger. I got tricks I can do right now. I wish that had been faster mana. Let's go ahead and round out the experience right now. This is an interesting deck so far. I think it's gonna focus more on Dimir's, evasion than the milling, which Dimir was kind of known for before. It's like the House of Mill. And from judging from the unlocks, or not the unlocks, the previews or the teasers that we've been seeing from Gatecrash, it's kind of getting back into those milling roots. But I think this is going to kind of focus on, that is hilarious. This is going to kind of focus on more of its evasion aspects. That's the best way to do this. Oh, here we go. get neg 3, neg O. We want it to be that guy. This guy gets O, because then that guy's 1 in the ass, and I get rid of both of them. Alright, perfect. Perfect. I like how that happened. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just all tizzy right now. Missing land drops. This is fantastic. We're facing Odric's completely unlocked deck, so I was a little worried, but we're actually doing great against it. Those are 2 cards I didn't really want to see right now, though. Huh. We can draw a card, and we can have them discard a card. I'd really rather have them decard, to be honest. The block's just going to give him a 1/1 flyer, so I gotta leave at least this guy back, but I could attack in. He's going to get that 1/1 flyer regardless, though, so I don't really care about that. Could just do the D card here and see what happens. Or I could play 2 creatures and Guy down, which is kind of important against Odric. But I don't like Odric having a bunch of cards either. Let's Guy down. Gut reaction is to Guy down, so let's go ahead and do that. Just pass turn. Hopefully that's not a big mistake. He's got a lot of removal there, so we're gonna have to be careful. But hopefully I told you guys all the little notes that I had to say. I mean, I know this is a little bit different than how we've done things in the past. Oh, really quick important note, actually, is that we're going to be doing things way different in the fact that we're going to go ahead and... Well, no, I don't really need 2 of these guys, especially when I'm probably going to get 1 back. Because it's not like their abilities are more useful the more I have out on the field. First strike's not great. Would have been better if he had kept the battle cry out, though. That's kind of weird. That's really funny that I have this again. I could just go ahead and attack. And then just shut him down right then. He's only got 3 cards in hand, so he's kind of running out of stuff to do. Let's go ahead and do this. See what happens here. He's gonna block it with the 1/1, I would imagine. Yep. He's gonna get Guy out of the deal. As I was saying, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and actually, because the deck keys came out for PlayStation at the exact same time as this DLC, which is kind of unheard of in the realm of how things work out on PSN usually. But that came out, so I'm actually going to go ahead and get the deck keys after we do that review episode, and we're going to go straight into playtesting. So hopefully you guys stick around for that. It's going to be really enjoyable. We're going to playtest these decks together. As always, I'm open to suggestions, so I think that's going to be a lot more interactive if we playtest them immediately with all 30 cards. You guys can give me some lists of what you like. We can just really kind of take a look at what we're doing together and just really more exciting stuff than we're kind of used to with how I've been doing things where we unlock all the cards. What do you guys think? Go ahead and just say screw you to that, or wait for the tricks where I get to... I'm going to go ahead and wait for the tricks where I get to kill 2 of his guys at once. I imagine, yep, that's about to happen. Go ahead and get the block in here. And then go ahead and kill both of his creatures. So, not to sound haughty or anything, but that is how you properly use that card. When you go ahead and have an opportunity to take out 2 of someone's creatures, that's probably what you should generally go for. I am a little sad about how this shaped up, though. Let's go ahead and get in here. For 3, I imagine he lets me draw the card here. Yeah, I figured he would, so we're going to go ahead and get a card that's going to expand our options. If you have an effect that allows you to draw a card, you always want to try and do that as early in your turn as possible, and if it's a little mana thing, so since we have a second main, it's a really smart idea to go ahead and go into our attack step, since that yields a card for us, because it opens up the amount of things that we can do. If we had, say, played Dimir Guildmage's ability, and then we draw this this mana, now we can't play this card, whereas in this instance, where we draw our cards early on in the turn, we're able to make a much more informed decision of how we want the rest of our turn to go. So we have removal. I'm going to go ahead and leave the counterspell open. If he doesn't play anything worth it, he's going to go ahead and get rid of a card at the end of the turn. So I actually don't have a problem with how this is shaping up. That is an O-ring. Target. Interesting, interesting. There's not really a whole lot I can do about that. So he goes ahead and gets rid of one of my dudes. We'll go ahead and get rid of that guy, though, and grab a creature from our yard. I like how this is shaping up, because now we can go ahead and just keep him from ever having more cards to play because of the discard ability on Guildmage. I don't know how many of you guys thought this at first, but the discard ability is actually what makes that card awesome, because it's just got so much that it can do. Discard's always really good. Let's go ahead and get in there for our 2 damage. I mean, once you get rid of their cards, you know, go ahead and go crazy, but at this point, I can make him discard as an interrupt. As an aside, if you're Odric in this scenario, you want to hold on to your lands at this point, because now he can pretty much play everything he has. He doesn't have any X-cost cards in his deck, I don't think, unless he has... it's not an X-cost card, but it has Kicker. But that's neither here nor there. You want to hold on to those lands, because your land drops are now less important than having card advantage, which you've lost completely from, you know, playing down and having Dimir Guildmage out there. Unfortunately, I don't have enough mana to do really anything else, so we are just going to sit here and look at each other for another turn. I could go ahead and just kill that guy, because it really doesn't matter what he plays. But if I did that, then I should have done it before I attacked, because I could have got in for more damage. So let's just see what he does here. You can only play Dimir Guildmage as a sorcery. His ability is a sorcery. I don't know why I went on about if you could not do that. But, you gotta read those cards, kids. That's terrible. I sound like a douchebag now. But I realized it before too many bad things happened. But you still can keep them from being able to play for the most part. If they try and keep something to trick you, you can still keep them tied down relatively easily. Let's go ahead and kill that guy. And we're going to win this with relative ease. At this point, there's not a whole lot Odric can do. I don't know why I thought that was an interrupt for a bit. Doesn't really matter, because we're kicking ass. Flight of Fancy, you draw 2 cards and enchanted creature has flying. They're kind of hearkening back to that, actually, real quick, with their mechanic that they just came up with for Dimir, this Cipher. I mean, it's one of those things where you have an initial effect of the card where you draw 2 cards, and then you have a lasting effect where your creature flies. That's actually really reminiscent, or their new mechanic rather, is reminiscent of that kind of suite of cards where you have a lot of bang for your buck. I can't really do anything, can I? Except the 4 damage. I can't win this turn. I hate taking somebody down to 0. But there's not really a lot that I can do about that. Aside from me sounding like a jackass and saying that you can play Dimir Guildmage's ability as an interrupt, I think this went pretty well against a fully unlocked deck. Gotta be honest with you, I was not too hopeful. But at this point, Odric doesn't have anything that he can do except look sadly at us with those dreamy eyes of his. Sean Connery eyes. Just kind of get stomped. We actually can't Stevens him either, which is the sad times, but We're going to go ahead and kill him. Yeah, still loses. That guy's unblockable. Mr. Tricky. Mr. Trickster. Odric trying to get in there. Look at him. So there you go, you guys. That was pretty exciting. That's actually a pretty good little thing. Don't have a problem with that at all. It was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed, you know, this method of doing things. I think this is kind of how I'm going to handle releases from now on. I think it's a little bit more fun, and like I said, hopefully it's a little bit quicker. It lets us go through things a little bit more exciting, you know, and get to the good cards and kind of get to share deck lists and stuff down in the comments, stuff like that. So yeah, just know how to use your Dimir Guildmage, know how to read that ability on there, and don't think that you have interrupts when you don't actually have them. That's usually the first card I get rid of, because I only like to have 3 of these in here. Hopefully we don't have as many mana problems as we might have. And just to show the card that we got real fast, real quick like, it's going to be the blue-black Liege, which gives other creatures +2/+2 if, you know, they've got the colors. I was trying to save time, but that's not really a good way to say that. And it has flying. It's kind of reminiscent of the green-red one, which has trample. Neither of them are too exciting when you kind of get into how powerful some of the other Lieges are. But there you have it, guys. That is the first episode of the new DLC. I hope you enjoyed it. If you were staying tuned and watching the other unlocking videos, I will keep posting those. But like I said, we're not going to be doing unlocking videos for the new DLC. We're just going to get straight into it and play in a new way. So hopefully you guys enjoy what we're going for here. I know I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to going through it with you guys. So thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time.